Alright, we've had a massive week of news in Formula 1. We've got a bunch of rumours about Ocon losing his seat and Hamilton supposedly retiring. We've got updates on Christian Horner, upgrades for Canada, ADUO clarifications. Look, it's been a week. I'm sorry I'm late, but this is last week in Formula 1, and it's time to bloody talk about it. Let's start with the most heartbreaking of news. Max Verstappen's team Verstappen at the Nurburgring, unfortunately, after dominating the race for 21 hours, had an issue with the car and had to bring it into the pits. The car had a critically damaged drive shaft, which completely took the team out of contention for the win. This continues Max's bad luck at the Nurburgring, but on the bright side, it's shown that Verstappen is a leader, and he's confirmed they will be back. Verstappen's team has shown they're incredibly strong at the ring, and I can absolutely see them becoming a 24-hour race winner in the future. Alright, first rumours of the week. We've got some reports that Hamilton will announce his retirement at Silverstone this year. But what are the sources? Well, an Italian news outlet known as F1 in general and a Dutch journalist on a podcast suggested he would be announcing it this year. Now, look, both of these sources are about as reliable as Aston Martin's engine. I personally don't think he'll be retiring. If anything, it's in Ferrari's hands and whether or not they'll actually decide to re-sign the 7-time world champion. But these rumours spread like wildfire, so it's important to know where the news is coming from. Esteban Ocon could be losing his seat before the end of the season. Well, that's the current rumour because apparently there's some internal tensions on the inside between Ocon and the Haas team principal. Now, the sources for this aren't exactly reliable. We've got a Brazilian journalist who has since clarified they weren't talking about Ocon and Komatsu in Miami. Her words were simply misquoted. And the other source is a Chinese publication that I personally have never heard of or referenced as a source before, so I'm not considering that reliable. But the rumour is there. It's the Canadian Grand Prix race week. With the Canadian Grand Prix coming up, we've got confirmation on what upgrades a few of the teams are bringing. We know that Red Bull is bringing a minor upgrade, but we haven't got any news on what they're actually doing. Mercedes is set to bring a substantial upgrade with their wind tunnel, suggesting they'll gain 3/10 of extra time. And Aston Martin are set to bring an upgrade that should actually show results. They're bringing a new gearbox, which they believe will provide more performance and reliability. Will it take them out of Q1? We'll have to wait and see. Now over to Alpine. They've entered talks with Gucci in order to replace their current title sponsor BWT. This would make the French team tens of millions of dollars, but we're unsure of exact numbers or if Gucci are even going to sign off and enter this agreement. But it would make sense for Gucci to become the title sponsor, as the current CEO of the luxury group that owns Gucci was the previous CEO of Renault, who was the main driving force behind the Formula 1 program there. It also means we'd most likely see an end to the pink livery, and if you thought F1 merch was expensive now, just wait until we get Gucci F1 merch. Speaking of Alpine, they've got themselves a new hire. There hasn't been an official announcement, but they have hired former FIA head of aerodynamics, Jason Somerville. This is massive for Alpine. He'll be joining the technical leadership team at Alpine, which will significantly bolster the team's experience. Now that's it for Alpine, but we do have some Christian Horner news. Reports say his gardening leave ended at the start of May, meaning he's one step closer to returning to Formula 1. He's been having talks with the BYD vice president, hoping to team up with them to create a new Formula 1 team rather than buying a stake in Alpine. This would be the 12th team on the grid and the first ever Chinese team on the grid, which would please Formula 1 management for commercial purposes. But we'll have to see if they commit to the whole new team when they decide to enter the sport. But other reports say that Christian Horner is also on the list of possible candidates to become the MotoGP CEO, which would be a pretty big change for him, but, good for him. I'm sure a lot of fans will be glad to see him out of Formula 1. Now, I've been getting a lot of DMs about this one, but an update on the Italian tax authorities chasing up F1 drivers and teams for unpaid taxes dating back to 2020. According to reports from Racing News 365, the Italian tax authorities are currently trying to retroactively collect all the taxes from all the Formula 1 teams, except for Ferrari and Racing Bulls, as both of those teams are based in Italy. The foreign teams, based on previous reports, have not been paying their Italian taxes, whether that have been at all or just not properly. The tax authorities have also contacted the drivers through letter to please submit their tax returns for the 2025 tax year and contact local authorities, either themselves or through a representative. They want access to driver contracts, sponsorship contracts, and fully intend on holding F1 personnel responsible for these unpaid taxes, and then collect as much as legally possible. I'm not sure if they're going to get it though. Max Verstappen is in the news again, but this time it's not for the Nurburgring. Organisers of the Bathurst 12 Hours are interested in convincing Verstappen to come down to Australia and have a race. The organisers of the iconic Bathurst 12 Hour are currently pitching for Max Verstappen to come and participate in the 2027 edition of the race. Verstappen has previously admitted that racing around Mount Panorama is something he's interested in and would consider doing it, whether that be in a GT3 or a V8 supercar. The Bathurst 12 Hour takes place at the start of February, a full month before the first Formula 1 weekend would be scheduled. So this is actually fully possible for Verstappen to take part in the race. Now, the FIA have been in the media a bit lately with changes to the regulations and such, but this time they've taken aim at Ferrari's flick tail mode, which is that little flap by the exhaust which sorta acts like an exhaust blown diffuser to help increase downforce. The FIA plan to ban this innovation as of next season. Many teams have been copying their design, but with it being banned, these teams are once again going to have to think of a new way to increase downforce on these cars, which already have significantly less than the previous regulations machinery. So that's most of it, but we have a few random little pieces. Red Bull Racing are releasing limited edition Crocs. The FIA confirmed the ADUO will only allow teams to upgrade one component of the engine, not redesign the entire thing, and the F126 DLC pack for F125 has officially been revealed by the Formula 1 Instagram. Wow, I don't like being late to videos because it means I have to cover more and it takes me longer to make. Sorry this video was so late, I've been crazy busy with my family all weekend, but if you did make it this far, drop your favourite driver in the comments below. And of course, a huge thank you to my patrons here. If you'd like to become a patron and support my content and even get early access to these videos, you can find that in the description below.